again, follow up to an E3 announcement between Rocket League and Minecraft. Both the Xbox One and Nintendo Switch versions will not only be cross-play compatible with each other with these two games, but they'll also be cross-play compatible with PC users as well. We actually have some more details on the, I believe his name is Charlie Scibetta, maybe. In an interview with GamesBeat, he is the Nintendo of America Corporate Communications Director. And he was asked about, hey, what was the thinking, what was the approach behind making, specifically they were talking about Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, because they're kind of direct competitors, but the fact that they're Nintendo of all three of the companies is being very open about their future online play model. It's kind of crazy that they're behind someone like Sony. But he said in the interview, "I'm really happy just as a gamer, let alone working for the company, that crossplay is going to be possible. We're trying to be more flexible as a company," talking about Nintendo. "We're reaching out to try and get people to interact with our IP. In this case, Rocket League is Psyonix's IP on our system, but we're trying to get people involved with us in any way we can. We want people to have a good time. In the case of Rocket League, we said, let's make that happen. It's really not more complex than that." Dig at Sony, hopefully. "Every game is different. Some games are great for multiplayer, some are better as single-player experiences. Some are better in all kinds of situations for all kinds of games. Rocket League works best with cross-platform play. Let's make it happen." Indeed, Sony, let's make it happen. It's sad when Nintendo is ahead of you when it comes to online. We're talking, this is the company that thought in the days of GameCube, people weren't interested in playing online. So they basically, I think they had they had a network adapter. The GameCube actually had a network adapter to connect online, and a total of one game supported it, and it was a third-party game that used it. That's how much they did not support online play. This was during the days when PlayStation 2 could play online. Obviously, then Sony was ahead of Nintendo, and everyone was just like, "Nintendo, what are you thinking? Why don't you make online play?" And then they did online play with the Wii, and with the exception of Mario Kart, I think anything else you tried online on the Wii was a pretty bad experiences. Not to mention the friend codes, but the friend codes were terrible. And Mario Kart was basically like, don't worry about it. Just play with other people across the world and have the Japanese players beat you every time. But you had that option, and a lot of people liked it. DS had online play for, it was probably more used with the Pokemon titles more so than anything else.
Oh yeah.
Which you can't play online anymore. That is one thing I do fault Nintendo for. They like to cut their online service really quick when the next generation shows up. Wii U seemed to have a similar model, and now that the Switch has arrived, it seems like Nintendo is they're much more open to different things. And I just can't believe that we have... it makes sense for Microsoft. Microsoft, they have been the front runners of online play for consoles. Period. As a Sony fan, I'm completely fine with saying that, because that's the truth. The fact that Sony is dragging their feet when it comes to making games like Minecraft and Rocket League cross-platform play, PC does not count, because they're not really a direct competition to you, even though you might claim that they are. They're not. That's a different market altogether.
Oh yeah.
They need to, and last week we talked about just the completely inane comment that our gamers are used to a certain standard / caliber of service, and we don't. He basically said,
and we're not offering.
We don't want to let the riffraff in and interact with our valued customers. No, Sony, that's not it at all. Number one, I think it comes down to you got hacked. You got hacked bad as a company, and a lot of your, especially with not even really PlayStation stuff got leaked. Even though that happened years ago when PlayStation Network itself got hacked. But Sony got hacked, emails got leaked, all this information came out about, different dealings with Sony pictures, especially with like the Amazing Spider-Man films. And all that stuff was released. I think Sony as a company has gotten to the point where they're just like, you know what? No. We're not going to take any risks with our network. I don't think online play is a risk, though. I just can't see that. If that's the reason, and they have not given that as a reason, they're in PR mode when it comes to this. I just can't understand if that's where their head is. I will say this though. I don't think it's going to last forever with Sony being like this. If both of their main competitors are playing nice with each other, Nintendo is pretty much going to force Sony's hand with this. I would say within the next 6 months, we're going to see Sony say, guess what's crossplay on our platforms? Minecraft and Rocket League. We tried really hard to get this done because we knew this is what the gamers want. It's like, no, Sony. You didn't want to lose any sales to Nintendo or Xbox or Microsoft. That's why. Don't fall for this for a second when they throw out stuff like we're protecting our community from other communities. That's nonsense. So, anything you care to add with that? I'm liking Nintendo a lot lately.
I'd say they're doing pretty well with this new console. Things are looking pretty good for them right now.
Yeah.
Microsoft, it's just they're just chilling in the back.
And you know what's kind of not being said here? Yeah, Xbox, we'll play Rocket League with you. Oh, by the way, if you want to play it online on our system, we'll only charge you $20 a year. Like, I kind of feel like that's kind of like the understatement here with Nintendo doing it. Like, yeah, we'll play with you. By the way, it's cheaper on ours. Oh, and it's portable. Mic drop.
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't think they're trying to. I mean, just where he said we're trying to get gamers involved any way that we can, or people involved in us any way that we can. I feel like that might be what he's referring to. Like, oh, they're playing on the Switch. Hey, that's cool. Hey, they're playing, on their toilet. If you want to play online games,
all over their console.
It can happen.
Why are you wiping your butt with the Nintendo Switch, you weirdo?
And that's a topic for a different podcast.
I don't know, people putting Nintendo Switch cartridges in their mouths. Wouldn't be surprised.
Next, we're going to be sticking Joy-Cons in our ears.